My name's Alicia Falk, and my job title right now is Assistant Director at a Financial Aid Office.
My name is Samantha Torres. My major is psychology. I'm a senior.
I think the reason for the rise in the cost of higher education is just the rise in the cost of living, number one. I mean, yes, an institution is a place where you come for your education, but then that's one side of it. The other side, it's a business as well, so it has to function. It still has to pay for all the luxuries you see here on campus.
What made me come to college was, I guess, the dream that my mom had, because when she had me, she was a single mom at the time, and she was in community college, so she only done that in her life, but it was like a different system, and she wanted me to experience more, and so I kind of just dreamed of, like, you know, her dream. We kind of combined it in a sense, and I wanted to like strive for more and be like provide for her in the future because she done so much for me. So.
A private institution like Cabrini, of course, our costs are going to be more than if a student were to go to like a state school or something like that. So, of course, other schools are always on the table. Of course, community college first is always on the table. Commuting versus living on campus is always on the table. Getting a job in between. Some students can manage that, you know, like they have full-time jobs and they're a full-time student. Some students do it that way. So usually in my conversations with students, I just ask them flat out, like, where are you starting from? If you tell me you can't do a FAFSA for some reason, if you tell me you can't afford like our enrollment deposit, then that is like my initial like, okay, wait a minute. If you can't afford to deposit here at Cabrini, then how are you planning to manage that? There's always a conversation about loans. There's always a conversation about grants. There's always a conversation about doing outside scholarship searches. So there's a lot of little things that go into a conversation like that. I say for most of our students here at Cabrini, they do utilize federal aid and they do utilize loans.
The financial aid office, it was an interesting experience, I would say, because being a first-gen student, I didn't have my parents to like come and help me understand what I had to do. I had to figure it out, and it was more or less kind of I had to like reach out like to student life to help me and come with me to financial aid, which is great because they helped me understand the terminology, because I feel like with the people at the financial aid office, I did have some difficulty like understanding what they meant, and like they were just talking these terms to me that I'm like, I have
my feelings about the celebrities that are paying to get their kids into these Ivy League schools. I just think it's unfair all around the board. I mean, you have students who work very hard, like that's their goal from being very young, and they work very hard to get there, and to know that there are just some people that can pay their way rather than actually doing the hard work. I just don't agree with it, and I think it's wrong, and I just think it's unfair on a lot of levels.
If I didn't have that scholarship, I think I would have. There was another school, so like they offered a lot more loans. So I would have ended up with. I probably would have gotten more loans to be able to pay for college, and then gone to like a school like that, or I would have just done the other option where I would work and then go to community college and then go to a four-year school.
Financially, my advice to a student coming into college would be ask. Sometimes literally asking for additional aid gets you additional aid. I'm not saying that it'll get your complete tuition bill covered, but it might get you something towards it. Anything helps.
To be the first generation, it's kind of scary, I guess you can say, because like I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. My like financial aid, trying to get scholarships, how to apply, how to even do a tour, get a tour on campus. Like my parents didn't know, they're not very familiar with English, so that made it harder. And so I had to do everything by myself and get help from guidance counselors and try to communicate. And it was really difficult trying to do it all on my own, but in the end, like now I'm here, I'm a senior, I'm about to graduate, and it feels so good.